What up, YouTube? Coming at y'all with another BMX video. This video right here is actually for the BMX purists. Ironically, I don't make too many videos for y'all. 'Cause I'm not a purist, but I figured I'd do one. So this bike I had for many years, probably about 14 years. It's a '94 GT Performer. Uh, this is probably one of the few bikes I got that's literally 100% original. Only thing I changed on this bike this morning was the tires, and I put some Repop LP5 tires on it. And I do have the original tires; they just dry. But I'm one of them type of people. I like my stuff to be functional, so I'm not one of them type of people who just care so much about something being original to it's not usable. So I'll change what needs to be changed on the bike. But yeah, I'm gonna go over the bike and I'm gonna tell you the backstory of why I got this bike. So yeah, everything is original, like I said. The seat, I've got the original reflectors, original pedals, original pit bull brake, uh, wheels. These are original. Like the grips, you never find these. These cost an arm and a leg when you do. Even the end caps are original, not gouged up. Original brake levers, original dyno stem, front reflector, original gyro. All the decals original. Seat post clamp original, like literally everything original. Chrome is real nice. As you can see, the decals still pop. They're not faded. They do have a few scratches. This bike is one owner. I'm the second owner. Bought it from the original owner. So I'm gonna tell you the backstory on this bike. So when I was a kid, like 12, there was a guy who stayed next door to my cousin's house. He stayed in the back. He had like a one of those double wide trailers, and they had a wooden deck. In LA they got big backyards in certain areas, and in the backyard they had a trailer behind the actual house. So when I would go over there to play with my cousin, I always noticed this guy would be working on GTs. He's always wrenching on GTs on the deck. I always would go up and talk to him. I used to go over there a lot of times just to act like I was going to play with my cousin, just to go talk to him about the GTs. I always wanted one because I always grew up riding on people had them, but I never actually owned one. So I always would tell him, hey, his name was Mario. I was like, hey Mario, I'm gonna get one from you. And I'm a kid, so he's not taking me serious. But I always been a hustler. Like to this day, if it's something I really want, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna come up with it. Even if I'm broke, I'm gonna come up with the money to get it. So, long story short, saving allowances and lunch money, stuff like that, I wind up going to get it. Me and my grandpa went over there. Went to the backyard, called up Mario. I was like, you got some GTs? I still remember. He was like, always. So yeah, went over there, Mario Yard, he popped the garage, GT galore. And back then I wasn't really knowledgeable about GTs like that. I just knew I wanted a chrome bike on black wheels. And knowing what I know now, I made a big mistake because Mario was definitely trying to give me an 87, like a white 87, all original. Back, this is like 97 or something like that. I just wanted a chrome bike on black wheels. Obviously, those bikes weren't worth much as they were now, and I didn't know what the years and all that back then. I just knew I wanted a chrome bike with black mags. So, long story short, I left there with a chrome bike on black Tomahawk mags. It was a guy who stayed, around the corner from me. He's like a year older than me. He was like a privileged kid. His parents had money, pretty much got on whatever he wanted. And he had a 97 Performer, the one chrome with the blue decals and the fan mags. And I had like pretty much a put together GT. It was nice. It had all nice parts, real chrome fork standers and black Tomahawk mags and things like that. And everywhere I would go, they'd give me props and things like that. But this one particular kid, it's all the people who got the most that hate. He basically hated on the bike, telling me what mine don't have, why his is better, this, and that. All the, typical hate stuff. So with me, I get offended off those type of things because I'm kind of competitive. So I saved all my money for some months, and then Christmas came around, saved all my money, and I took my bike to Manny's Bike Shop to redo the whole bike. So back then, newer was better. So I took the Tomahawks back. I took the Tomahawks off and put Fan Mags because that's what was in at the time. ACSs that just came out, but I preferred the Fan Mags. Changed the decals, changed the grips, changed a lot of little things on the bike. They actually gave me the decals. I remember taking home, putting the decals on myself because they didn't want to do it. But long story short, the bike was really really nice. This was like Christmas time, so I didn't want nobody to see it, so I hid it in the house and I went to Sacramento for the summer. For Christmas, visit my uncle, for Christmas, for the holidays, whatever. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go bust this dude's ass around the corner with this bike because we be talking all that shit. I'm like, I'm about to go around the corner and he not gonna see this bike because the bike was nice, man. It was chrome, had like gold and blue decals, chrome fork standards, white wall tires because that was our thing back then. White wall tires with the black fan mags, everything was nice, fresh seat posts, layback seat posts, real nice. So when I got back to Compton or whatever, one of my cousins hit me up. He wanted to come over, and so he did. He had an old mountain bike, and he decided he wanted to go get something to eat. So I'm like, okay, I'll roll with you. Give me a chance to ride the bike. We went past the guy's house that actually, was talking to shit, but he wasn't outside. So I passed that dude's house. We crossed over to another neighborhood. It was a blood neighborhood. So I crossed over to the other neighborhood. I see there's three guys and two bikes. My cousin, he was naturally scary. So he took off and left me. He just took off and left me. Mind you, I didn't expect nothing. I wasn't thinking nothing. I was winded because we were racing all the way there. So by the time I seen the guys, I was winded. He was on a mountain bike. I'm on the 20 inch. So obviously, the 20 inch take a little more out of you. So them guys rode up on me. I'm not thinking nothing. I'm thinking, just some more people coming to compliment me on the bike. So the guys jump off the bike. I'm like, oh shit. So one of them jump off the bike, jump in front of my bike, grab the handlebar. He's like, get off your bike. And I started laughing. I'm thinking he playing or joking or something. You're like, blood, get off your bike. And I'm just looking around. So I'm just sitting there. And in my head, I'm sitting there for a minute, just quiet, just weighing my option. I look down the street. My cousin had left me. He's sitting down there like he a buster. So he just left me. He didn't, come make sure things was all right or nothing. So in my head, I'm like, the bike is gone. In my head, I'm like, the bike is gone. So I can either give up the bike and walk away from this, or I can get my ass beat more than likely, or possibly get shot, because back then that's what was going on, and still get my bike took. So I opted just to give up the bike. I'm like, whatever. And they took off with my bike. My cousin rolled up. This fool had the nerve to ask me, do you still want to get something to eat? Why the hell would I want to get something to eat? I just got my bike started. But anyway, mentally that had messed me up toward these bikes for years. Like, it was just the fact of that you could work hard for something and get it took from you at the snap of a finger, and it's no rebuttal, no get back. I couldn't get it back. It just was a loss. I worked that hard for months to build this bike, never got to show the dude that I was going to pull up on, and I didn't get no type of rebuttal for it. Like, nothing. Couldn't call the police. Even if I wanted to call the police, I didn't have the serial numbers. Wasn't cameras back then, so I couldn't prove. Even if I did see the people on my bike, I couldn't prove it was mine. So it was just a lost cause. So for years and years, I was angry about that. And finally, fast forward, early 20s, I was telling somebody the story. We just got to talking about GTs, and they said something so simple, like, why don't you just get another one? And I started thinking, like, why don't I just get another one? So wound up looking on Craigslist, and I found this bike for $125. This was maybe 2011. I hit the dude at $100, and the dude didn't say nothing back. And this is when I learned, when something is cheap, never negotiate it. I use that tactic to this day. If something is already cheap and you know it's cheap, don't negotiate it. So I wind up hitting him from another account, and he wound up messaging me back. I was like, "Hey, you still got the bike for 125?" He was like, "Yeah." So I met up with him at his storage unit, the original owner, gave him the 125, and that's how I got this bike. Now, as you can see, like I say, one owner, you could tell it was barely ridden. Just from it having the reflectors on it, it was barely ridden. Chrome is still nice and bright. It has its little scratches and scrapes here and there, but overall, really nice bike. Stamp seat posts, stamp bars. Yeah, but that's the story of the 94 GT Performer. It's a really clean bike. It's not flawless, but it's really clean. This is the real definition of a survivor bike. Yeah. All right, y'all.